We'll start it with one of these little. Oh man,
Oh,
that sounds good.
All right, guys, here's a quick cut from the full interview with Lyle Barnett. If you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below, tell us what you want to hear.
that's cool. So let's talk about Motion real quick, because they've been on.
Yep.
You and Doug and Andy have been friends for, it sounds like, for a long time, based on what I've seen. We love those guys in drag and drive stuff.
Yep.
How'd you get hooked up with them?
So back when Motion Raceworks started, when they were operating out of the spare bedroom in Doug and Andy's apartment, they show up to South Georgia with like a handful of parts they had developed and wanted to know if they could sponsor the Dart. So they were, I was like one of the first cars that they ever sponsored.
That's great.
And I was as proud of them as they were of me. We mesh well together. We kind of are cut from the same cloth. And I've continued to support them as hardcore as I can. And they have continued to support me, sometimes more than I think I deserve. They support literally anything that I drive. If it's got 4 wheels and an engine, they'll sponsor me in it, And got to do lay mullets, with Stevie Fast, which is a very cool experience. We're not round track racers, but we like to try. And then they let me drive their burnout car, the Bald Regal, where I ended up winning burnout rivals and that thing.
Yeah. Well earned, dude. Well earned. That was a good round.
They're just good people. We're not just friends anymore. We're more like family. I go to Bradenton to race. I stay at Doug's house. Nice. They are racers for racers. They're not your corporate America Chinese shit, as Doug calls it. They bleed red just like the rest of us. They love their country, like we do, and they're just good dudes. And I can't thank them enough for all their support over the years, because I couldn't have done it without them. That's for sure.
Man, I'm telling you, and just his, both of theirs. I've talked to Doug more than I have Andy, but just their drive to keep producing parts. They haven't settled for
constantly
anything.
Innovating. Like, it's unbelievable, man. They're always coming up with something new and cool. And I always want to be like, man, I thought of that first, but I never have. Like they're always coming up with some new shit. And it's just cool.
Yeah, stuff I didn't even know I needed. Now I'm like, okay, well, I'll add that to the list. I need to build a car to put that on.
Yeah, so I'm in the process of doing a bunch of work to Beer Money right now, just getting it ready, kind of updating it. And that was one thing I talked to Doug about, is we're going to see how many Motion products I can get on this thing. So like, he sent me the mid-plate kit. I've got catch cans and their mechanical fuel pump drive and their chute handle. I mean, I've got, all kinds of stuff. Their valve covers, their valley cover tray, you name it, I'm trying to put it on there. And they recently bought TBM brakes and Rife sensors. So I run TBM brakes on the car already. We put all kinds of Rife sensor stuff on it. Nice. So just it's cool to be associated with those guys. And I hope that relationship lasts for all, if not most of my career.
Yeah, and then there's a phrase you said in the Promod experience the other day, was you Barnetted something, and so I would think you're probably a pretty good tester of parts too.
Yeah, the term Barnetted came about amongst the guys that I race with here locally. I'm pretty rough on shit, like real rough on shit. So anytime I break something, they're like, "Oh, Barnetted something else." My dad's not too proud of that, but I'm like, dude, it just is what it is. Like, we're rough on shit, and it's funny, So I've Barnetted all kinds of stuff. I try to keep that to a minimum in the Pro Mod, because you Barnett shit in that thing, it gets really fucking expensive. But Beer Money, I Barnett that some bitch all the time. I've wrecked it like 3 or 4 times. I'd use an adjustable wrench on just about anything.
Everything's got rounded edges.
Everything's got rounded edges. Channel locks on the AN fittings, like, don't give a shit, But that's what makes that car fun, is it's just carefree. It's carefree and fun for all. Free high fives everywhere. So
I was gonna say, like, you've that's why we built the cart. We've got a Grand Marquis Death cart. It's got a turbo 4.6 in it, and like, you have to own a car at some point in your life that you don't care about. You have to.
It's the most fun form of racing that I've ever done. Like, I love NHRA Promod. It's my passion and my job, that's what I do. But there ain't nothing like coming home and getting my old wore out, faded enclosed trailer, hooking it behind my pickup truck, squat it to the ground, and tear down the road to go somewhere and race it. So, it's pretty cool, man.
That's cool. So do you think you'll have a weekend where you'll have like a beer money race and the Pro Mod stuff? You think you'll tag team?
Well, at the US Streets, I'm going to tag team. I'm going to take it down there to grudge race it, but nah, otherwise, nah, unless we're local outlaw 8th mile racing. They're just two totally different things, Well,
so and probably think about that now. As I said, it'd be just too hard to mess with that.
Yeah, it's so much. I mean, I don't have any business taking it to the U.S. Streets, but we were drinking down there at the Snowbirds, or actually, it was at Les Mullets, and
you were drinking at Les Mullets. That sounds interesting,
man. If I'm breathing, I'm drinking. But we were bullshitting and had drank too much, and I start running my mouth, and next thing I know, I've got 2 grudge races locked in. So I try to be a man of my word. So
nice.
I'm going to haul that pile of shit down there, and I'm going to run these guys for a couple $1,000s or something.
That's too cool. I did think it's just something. My buddy Travis Deertel, who's another big Rocky Mountain Race Week guy, is going to be, I think, a new driver for the Elite HP team. So maybe he'll end up in your truck. That dude's awesome. Has a big turbo K10 square body that is like a 9-second truck on hard tire 235s. It's a pretty amazing truck. But yeah. So that leads me into drag and drive stuff, dude. Do you have time to do any of those events?
I want to, man, but honestly, no. I just with the NHRA season, with beer money, I got a kid on the way. Like I want to. Like I'm gonna go to Sick Week, and just ride, and follow it around and do some video stuff with Chad Reynolds and whatnot. Like we're gonna go hang out. But if I acquire another race car, my wife is going to kill me and leave me, so
and she can't do that because you got that baby. Like, dude, you won't be away from that baby.
I can't. One, I can't afford it. And 2, I just don't have the time, man. If I've talked to Tom Bailey some about and Doug and them about driving something if it's available, right? But unless it's just somebody that wants me to drive for them, and I can just jet out for the weekend and not help you get it together and be just your typical flying driver.
Just show up, have some fun for a couple days.
I would love to. I just don't have time. There's not enough time in the day for me to get it all done. So
Justin Chestnut just popped in and said, hell yeah, me and him are doing Sick Week in his 29 Model A with a blown small block. It ought to be 18-inch wide tires in the back, all that kind of hot rod shit. It's going to be a ton of fun. So, we'll hang out for a little bit. I'll bring some beers and you can drink them.
You're going to drink them too. I'm going to.
Oh, dude, believe it. This will be the first time I've co-piloted anything.
Okay.
So it's on. I told him, I was like, man, just get ready. I'm just going to be a blur and I'm going to record a bunch of stuff. And that way I can remember it later.
Heck yeah.
All right. If you need more, you can hit the link right up in the corner or down in the comments that will take you to the full interview with Lyle Barnett. Thanks, guys. See you.